Good morning, all, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living.
My baby gave me jasmine flowers for my hair. Now I'm seeing jasmine everywhere. Never noticed it before. It's been growing wild outside my back door. What else have I been missing? I started counting blue jays on my morning run. Bet I'll spot a dozen by the time I'm done. It's such a simple thing, all the little gifts that every day brings. When I open my eyes, whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. The beautiful rainbow of the big dark cloud behind it. There are reasons to worry, reasons to be grateful. It's an open door.
It's an open door.
Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. Now I wonder if the sun is shining just for me. Does the music move me just because I'm listening? Do the colors come alive when I slow down and finally realize that I have a choice? Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. The beautiful rainbow on the big dark cloud behind it. There are reasons to worry, reasons to be grateful. It's an open door. Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. The beautiful rainbow on the big dark cloud behind it. There are reasons to worry, reasons to be grateful. It's an open door.
It's an open
Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find it. My baby gave me jasmine flowers for my hair. Now I'm seeing jasmine, it's everywhere.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Well, good morning. I'm Lucia Cooper-Smith. I'm your host for today. Let me begin by saying it is a pleasure to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville, and welcome to those of you who are watching online as well. Rev John's talk title today is When No Becomes a Yes. And we are also so happy to welcome our music director today, Lisa Firestone, and our guest artists, Paul Nielsen and Lisa Hanna. Welcome back. If you're new here, the Center for Spiritual Living is an inclusive, new thought spiritual community, a place where ancient wisdom and practical spirituality meet. We believe that each of us is a unique, individualized expression of infinite spirit, and that life is the outward expression of that perfect truth. Rather than following a single religious tradition, we draw from deep wells of universal spiritual wisdom, rooted in the science of mind philosophy of Ernest Holmes, teaching that our thoughts have the power to shape our lives, and that love is the great transforming force in the universe. Our vision is to be a spiritual home that opens hearts, inspires dreams, and transforms lives. Our mission is to help people live their best lives through a practical spiritual teaching that you can use every day. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. So I'd like to begin with a short quote from Ernest Holmes, followed by an opening guided meditation. Ernest Holmes wrote, "The budding rose, the flowering tree, the corn ripe for harvest, the child at play, the surging tide, the saint kneeling before the altar of his faith are all manifestations of the one life, one presence, one power." And now I invite you to relax, close your eyes, make yourself comfortable, relax your shoulders, release any tension you might be feeling in your body. And take a deep breath. And take one more. A budding rose, corn that is ripe for harvest, a wave crashing against the rocks, a sunset bursting with every color imaginable, the sky filled with 1,000 stars. How we have all looked at these things and marveled at their magnificence. All manifestations of the one power of spirit. You are a manifestation created by that same power. You are magnificent. Focus your attention on your heart. Just breathe. Feel the warmth of your heart pulsing. Breathe into that. And now feel that warmth expanding through your whole chest, your torso. Feel that warmth move down your arms and your legs. Circle your throat and expand behind your eyes. And finally to your crown. Just breathe and feel that warmth embody you. That is an energy, a power in you to manifest, to heal whatever may be hurting, and to love completely. Today, see how these manifest not just in nature, but notice these manifestations and see their magnificence, be in their joy. When you hear a child's laughter, or see the smile in someone you love, or release just a little bit of a grudge that we might be holding on to, or the warm embrace of someone after this service. Marvel at these. Be in their joy. This is what you've manifested. Just breathe for a minute and be in that warmth. When you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes, bring your awareness back to the room. And so it is. Namaste.
This is a song Paul and I wrote not too long ago, just for this community and giving us hope during these times, whether collectively or individually. And I hope it brings you some inspiration. as the tapestry unravels and colors fade to black and white, while so many live in darkness and dread, holding steady is the light. As the scales tip out of balance and the wrong becomes what's right, high above the very shadows that loom, holding steady is the light. The light that cannot be extinguished, the truth that cannot be denied, the wisdom handed down for centuries, the hope we carry deep inside. As we shield it from the gales of fear and keep our candles burning bright and meet the moment with compassion and grace, holding steady is the light. As we shield it from the gales of fear and keep our candles burning bright and meet the moment with compassion and grace, holding steady is the light, holding steady is the light.
The light.
Holding steady is the light.
Holding steady is the light.
Holding steady is the light. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Paul and Lisa. It's a beautiful song. I loved it. Thank you, everybody. The band is doing a great job for us today, as they do every day. Oh, there's everybody. Hi, everybody. Y'all back there. Okay. So we're going to talk about no today, and the whole month. The theme this month is anger. So we're looking at anger in a spiritual, metaphysical context, and just exploring that and finding our way with that. And this week, just a few days ago, actually, I got to see the Odyssey. Have you seen the Odyssey yet? I would say if you haven't, it's really a great IMAX experience. It's really worth going to the movie theater to see it. It's incredible. And I had a great time, and I was thinking about like the metaphysical journey that Odysseus goes through on this journey, and when you think about where he started, which was in strategizing this war all the way through to the end of the story. And I'm not going to tell you the story if you haven't seen it, because although it is, spoiler alert, it's like 2,000 years old, but nevertheless, I'm not going to tell you. But he does go from this very ego-based place to this beautiful place of wisdom. He discovers through this very complicated journey that this compassion that's within him. And the beautiful way that Matt Damon plays the character is that you see that that compassion was always there within him, and that it just was pushed aside by this other agenda and this anger that he had. And along the way, he awakens to that within him again. And I think it's a beautiful experience. And if you're in this teaching, I think you'd get a lot out of it. Ernest Holmes often emphasized that spiritual growth comes through experience, through choice and awakening, and our unity with Spirit, rather than trying to escape life's challenges. We move through those challenges and be informed by them, and we carry this consciousness with us through those experiences. And I have found in my journey with all of this that it changes the perspective, it changes the experience, that the experience, even if it's one that I'm like, I really don't want to go through this, even if it's that, I end up having an experience that is gentle, that is loving, that is awakening me to some other aspect of life and connection that I didn't have before. So in going through all of these different experiences, there are occasions when we may want to say no to something. And I was thinking about, that's what sort of inspired me to have this talk today, and started to think about, like, a lot of times we can think of no as negative, and of course in our teaching we're like, don't be negative, be happy, be positive, don't fall into the negativity. But, and bringing up our first slide, I thought, our no is not negative. It is decisive. It is that place where we can really lean into not this, but this. It's decisive. And in our teaching, we can shy away from the no, thinking that it's not high consciousness. But I think that it brings up this idea of clarity, right? This idea of discernment. Our no can be an emotional release when we say no to something. It can be part of our identity, like, who am I in this world? I'm not this, I'm this. I'm saying no to this, I'm saying yes to this, right? It can be the values in what we say and do. I say no to violence, I say no to cruelty, I say no to some of those things, and I say yes to compassion and empathy and life and supporting each other in life. I say no to those experiences that drag me down, and yes to joy and experiencing the freedom of just expressing that no, in grand abandonment. I think that Charles Fillmore talks about this in The 7 Powers of Man, which is a beautiful book. It's more of a unity teaching. If you don't know, unity is a sister path to our path. And they embrace a lot of new thought, but they also embrace this idea of the path that Jesus of Nazareth walked. And so there's a very Christian element to their path. But nevertheless, I find a lot of inspiration from them. And Charles Fillmore was the founder, and he wrote this book called The 12 Powers of Man. And one of the powers is the power of discernment. And that is letting your no reflect your intention. This is the power of discernment. And it is informed by the kingdoms of consciousness. So if you don't know what the kingdoms of consciousness are, Michael Beckwith who is the minister and founder of Agape in the Los Angeles area, and is a pretty well-known new thoughter in contemporary times. And he asserted that there are these kingdoms of consciousness. There's 4 of them. To me, something's happening to me. By me, I am causing something to happen. Through me, which is when we're channeling that spiritual truth. And as me, when we're fully embraced in our spirituality and we're just being in the world as spirit. And so when our no is through me, so I'm bringing my spirit and it's coming through me, it is received with loving understanding. It is spirit talking to spirit. It is God talking to God, our God self talking to our God self. And our job, if there is a job here, is to activate that, right? So no does not have to be a shutting out. However, we may need to start there, if only to gain clarity. So we may start with, and our first thing may be not this, but this. And that no, is clarifying who and what we are and who and what we want in our lives. It's one of the healthiest ways to work with anger. And one of them is to really become curious. So before reacting and and getting into it, we ask ourselves some genuine questions. So that anger can be the starting place for saying no, because I'm getting no, right? And rather than just being in that hostile place that anger can bring us, we can stop and ask ourselves some probing inquiry questions, right? What boundary has been crossed? So just getting clarity, like why am I so upset about this? Why is this making me angry? What boundary do I have that I feel has been crossed? What value here is asking to be honored, or what value here is being dishonored? The way someone's showing up seems to be dishonoring that. We talked about it a little bit this morning at our early session of the way some people show up in the world can feel like they are dishonoring the things we hold quite dear. Like, for example, human life. We can see examples of policies, procedures, behaviors, decisions being made in the world that seem to be more about profit and more about other agendas than it is about the care and support and love of human life. We can also ask ourselves, what story am I telling myself here? I'm getting angry about this. And this is a question I ask myself all the time. Why do I care? What is it that's going on? What is it in this that I really care about? And I find myself answering the question with saying, a lot of times, but saying, does it matter? No, it doesn't really matter that much, right? Let people have their journey, let people go their way, and just be loving and supportive of that. I don't have to interrupt every single behavior that's happening. I can let it play itself out, and we're all going to discover this truth ourselves. And this next question I really like a lot, which is, what response would align with the person I want to become? So if I'm in anger, what response would be in alignment to who I would really want to be in the world? And it can be a no. I can say no. That's not for me. That the way you're showing up doesn't work for me. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to just accept that, but I am not going along with you in this. Not judging, it's just not for me. So the thoughts we hold and the way we express and the choices that we make either bring us closer to unconditional love or take us a little further away. And as a spiritual community, as all of us committed to walking this path, our job is to walk ever closer to complete unconditional love, right? And the other comment that I wrote in my notes is, it's really hard to be angry when you laugh. So find something that makes you giggle, and it's going to help diffuse and give you the moment of mental clarity, emotional break in whatever's happening, to really get clear on what's going on with you right now. So back to Charles Fillmore and discernment. This is our next slide. He talks about discernment, that it requires stillness. Like many New Thought teachers, Fillmore believed discernment arises through prayer and inner listening. He frequently taught that we become still, enter the silence. There is this, I think she's still around. I saw her years ago. New Thought minister who works out of London, brilliant woman, and her whole ministry was being in the silence. powerful when you really enter into it. So being in the silence, releasing emotional reactions, right? We're just, okay, I'm going to let that go. Allow divine wisdom to reveal itself. And that was, we talked about that a little bit this morning, of like, someone gave the example of a prayer they did where they just said, help me, just help me. And it's a surrender to allowing everything else to just kind of settle down and allowing spirit to come in and move through. Discernment is therefore received, not merely figured out. So it is something we receive because we're open to it. We're not intellectualizing it. We're not willing it from our human will. We are actually receiving it. And this is when we become in rapport with the spirit of our being, with this thing called God, this thing called higher power, this thing called whatever you want to call it. We're in rapport with it, so we're actually channeling this love, this truth, this peace, this spirit in that moment, and we're channeling through, okay, this is the discernment for me. And what happens is we can still say no, but it isn't a pushing away. It's just a loving no. It's a loving way of saying, not for me, not right now, not this for me. I'm jumping through these slides pretty quick, but there's another slide that Fillmore emphasizes this faculty. I think this is on a slide, yeah. On two levels: human judgment, which is based on appearances, fear, conditioning, and limited information, and spiritual judgment is illuminated by divine mind and perceives what is eternally true. So it's not just true in the moment, but it is true today, it is true tomorrow, it is eternally true. And this human judgment is based on appearances, and a lot of times, well, I'll just say I've been guilty of this. It is running with an assumption, having part of the story, but not having the whole story, right? It's like, well, I just fill in the blanks with what I think the rest of the story must be, and therefore I know, and therefore I judge, and therefore I get angry, and therefore I'm in my human experience. Rather than just saying, I'm going to trust spirit here. I'm going to trust that my divine mind knows more than I know as my little human self. And I'm going to be open and available to that. Wisdom is knowing what to do. Discernment is the faculty that decides when and how to do it. This is a quote by Charles Fillmore. I think it's coming down a little bit further, but I'm going to start talking about it now. There is a shadow side to all of this, right? The shadow side to this is behaviors that come out of pushing back, of saying no, that can come across as anger and even violence. And a lot of times when we're choosing violence, we're afraid of those deeper feelings. We become fearful of the light and frustration at being in struggle with this, particularly when others don't seem to be in struggle with it at all. And oh my goodness gracious. I can be in struggle with, like, I need to be a good person. I need to be at peace. I need to find the love. And everybody else seems to be doing it really well, and I really want to just smash, I just really want to lash out. And that just makes it worse because I get more and more frustrated. It's interesting, as I think about us having this individualized experience and what a blessing it is and what a challenge it can be, because we all have our own individual point of view. And I think because we're individualized, we're not supposed to follow every path. We're not supposed to go down every road or understand every idea or hold everything that there is to hold. We are individualized to find our path, to find what we believe in. And I think with consciousness work that we're doing here, we're finding ourselves available to it when we're ready for it. So there are times when I am not ready to let go of how angry I am at someone and the way they're showing up in the world. And that can show up one-on-one. It can show up in the world of politics and in the global communities and in the public square in a lot of ways. It has shown up with my boss. Let me think, how else has it shown up? Shown up with relatives, some family members. And it's a journey for me because I'm committed to this work to continually investigate that, to continually probe into it, because in that, and sometimes it's really not very comfortable, but in that work, I am expanding my awareness, I'm expanding my consciousness. I am capacitating myself to hold greater and greater compassion for everything and everyone around me. I am becoming what I think we are all hoping to become in this work, a model for unconditional love, even in these harsh circumstances, probably even more so, because never are we tested more than when we're in circumstances where love seems really hard to hold in the moment. And yet when we do, we are pulling in spirit ever more fully and ever more readily. Our no tells the world what path we're on. And of course, the shadow side of all of this is the hurting, the harming, the unkindness, the unneeded harshness. This is about power, right? Power is when we try to claim power, we're actually, when we do that, when you see that behavior showing up with someone saying, I am powerful, right? That the only way that they can validate themselves is by putting somebody else on their knees. This is a teaching that we find a lot in the work that we do if we're in social justice. If the only way you can feel good about yourself is by having somebody else lower than you or on their knees, as we say, then we're really looking at something that needs investigation, that really is crying out for a deeper experience. This is a belief system that really won't last and won't work, this idea. We can be in this experience of lingering resentment. This is another part of the shadow side of just like, that person. And the problem with lingering resentment is that it doesn't allow for anyone to change. Because we grow, we do change, we do heal, we do move on. I found this, particularly with my relationship with my dad. My dad and I had the hardest relationship for the longest time. I think I may have told you the story, right? And I finally got the perspective that he's doing the best he can with what he's got. And he does not, I have a capacious imagination. I have an imagination that can go many, many, many places. It's a gift, I think, in some ways a curse, but really a gift. He doesn't have that. He didn't have that. He did not have a big, wide imagination. And so because of that, when he looked at me with great fear. He thought that my life and my lifestyle, if you will, was a very, very difficult one, and he was afraid for me. I just saw him being angry. But once I gained the perspective, oh, that's just his fear for me, which is even deeper than that, means that there's great love for me. And once I realized that, it was really easy to be with him and talk with him and share with him. It was a real healing that happened for me. He didn't change, right? So it's always that evolution of consciousness. And we release those lingering resentments, and we release the need for power, because the need for power over someone is really just an affirmation that I'm powerless to begin with. If I need that affirmation, then I have something in me that believes that I don't have any power to begin with. So we take a deep breath, and we remember that we are one with Spirit, one with God, one with truth, one with this unconditional love. And in that oneness, we are all powerful. There is nothing missing. We do not need to put anybody outside of that love to know that we ourselves are loved. I'm going to tell you this story. I kind of like this story. It's a little non sequitur, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So you may know this story. I didn't know it. I heard it recently, and I was like, okay, let me try and get this right. It's a fable or a parable. It's about the moth and the fly. So the fly went to the king of the moths and said, we all have wings. We both have wings. I want to be part of your world. I want to be part of your kingdom. How can I do that? And the moth said, well, you have to do what moths do, which is you have to go and find the light. And if you go and find the light, then you can come back and we'll decide whether you can be part of this or not. So the fly goes out and he searches for light and he finds like candlelight and lamplight and funeral pyres, and he finds starlight and all kinds of different light. And he's very excited. He comes back to the king. He goes, I found the light. I found all these different kinds of light. What's your decision? And the king of the moths just started laughing, and he said, the decision's already made. Once you find the light, you never come back to the darkness. That's the kingdom of the moth. I love that story. So why would you come back to the darkness? This is the thing. Once we start down this road of believing and embracing unconditional love and this idea of this powerful truth that we are one with Spirit, you can't go backwards. It really can't. So violence, when it shows up, thrives in the shadow of consciousness. It's hard to endure. It's hard to witness. It can test our faith in these faiths that we hold quite dear. And this next slide is from this place called Spiritual Economics, and it says, faith is not a vague process of believing in something. It is rather a positive act of turning on something. We turn on this truth. We turn on this love, this light, this joy, this light. We connect to it and we turn it on within ourselves. And then you're just moving through the world with it. And so how we react and when we say no, when we get angry, and the anger is a way of discerning what we hold as our values. I value life. I value freedom. I value peace. So when I see things that are not that, I can hold a higher consciousness to know, yeah, that's a low-level consciousness. That's a shadow side. I can step into the light. I can hold that light. And I can be a model holding and shining that light, because in the light, that shadow can't exist. So we know that these shadow behaviors are, at best, temporary. They can seem like they have a lot of juice, like they have a lot of power, they have a lot of staying power, but that's just the appearance. They actually don't. That's my faith. The other thing I wanted to say that is sort of another aspect of this journey that we're on is that sometimes no one will really notice our sadness until it turns into anger. Healing is realizing you've become the angry person because no one saw your sadness first. And this is a call for us to be in connection. And connection isn't just, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Connection is, I'm really going through something right now. Sit with me. And you find your people, right? And if you don't have any people, we have practitioners who are particularly trained to hold that space with you and for you, to sit with you. And we can pray, or we can just sit and be in silence. But to sit and bear witness There's something really powerful about that. So with all this said, what do? And there is no one right answer. So we pick our way through conflict to find our center and find our own power. We release our sense of or any attachment or identity as a victim. So I want to talk about a victim for a second. So a victim is someone that you would define as someone who is powerless and at the mercy of the circumstances around them. And we release ourselves from that powerless state of consciousness and step into our power. It's why when we do our affirmative prayer, I'm never going to pray for you if you come to me with a incident that's happened or something that's happened to you. I'm never going to pray for you saying, oh, you poor thing. Oh, you poor baby. I know that, it's not that I'm not compassionate. Of course, my heart goes out to you. But in that moment of prayer and realization, that's our third step in our affirmative prayer, I am realizing that you are still powerful, even with whatever is happening. And I know that power is rising up in you to affirm itself and to express itself through you yet again. And that despite all that's happened, your power is still yours. New Thought teaching gives us permission to say no, say no to abuse, say no to manipulation, say no to oppression, to say no to systems that deny human dignity. That's my no. I'm very clear about that. So it helps me understand, therefore, what am I saying yes to? That no and that anger that comes along with it is not the opposite of love in that context. It is the expression of love. When I say no to oppression, when I say no to the systems that deny human dignity, I am saying yes to love, because you can't hold unconditional love and hurt people at the same time. You can't hold unconditional love and oppress people. There's no way that you could make those decisions. There's no way you could hold that consciousness. There's no way that you could say profitability is more important than human life. How could you do that? You can't. So we hold this consciousness not because those behaviors don't show up in the world, but because it's up to us to shift that consciousness, to demonstrate there is a better way, a higher consciousness, and that we are showing you that path. So anger and violence are not the same thing. Anger is a natural signal that something sacred has been violated, something sacred to us. Violence is just one possibility, often destructive, in a response to that signal. We can choose a different response. Spirit does not ask us to suppress anger. It invites us to transform it into courage, compassion, clear boundaries, wise action. So it is not a knee-jerk reaction into fury or lashing out. It is a deepening of our connection to the love that is in our lives. So no becomes a doorway to a deeper yes. And this last slide that I have for you today is from Ernest Holmes. He says, the divine no is the soul's refusal to consent to anything less than truth, capital T. It is the sacred power to deny fear, limitation, and false appearances so the greater yes to life may emerge. So the invitation today is to honor your no and to say yes to life. Yes? Let's pray. I would invite the practitioners to come up and join me to hold space. Also for everyone to see who you are and that you're available to pray with them if you need prayer at any time or someone to hold space. It's such a joyful experience to have these people. We go through training. We'll talk more about, if you're new here and you don't know what a practitioner is, they go through a very rigorous training program to clear their own stuff so they can be a clear channel for you. And these beautiful souls have said yes to this, and they are incredible, incredible, incredible people. And if you ever need prayer, they are powerful prayers, I'm just saying. So let's take this into our prayer. So again, with us, prayer is not something that we pray to something outside of ourselves. We pray from that love, light, joy, laughter that is within us and realize that powerful truth. So taking a breath, closing your eyes, softening your gaze, whatever you're comfortable with, and just recognizing right here, right now, this unconditional love that is everywhere and every when. It is spirit in creativity. It is this thing called God or source or higher power, whatever your word or phrase. And just inviting ourselves to just touch into that and just know it. And knowing that because it is everywhere and every when, it is in and through me as I am one with it. And knowing my oneness with this, I know the oneness of each and every single person participating in this prayer right now. And so from this place of oneness, I just say a blessing upon everyone and their no. I just know that as we say that and we hold that in our consciousness, that we're holding a higher consciousness, that we're stepping into our power, and we're discerning what is ours and what isn't, that we're allowing ourselves to have our individual experience, to let our love carry us where it will carry us, and to shine a light on all those around us. I know that in this powerful, powerful consciousness that each and every single person is divinely and truly blessed with this powerful consciousness in ways expected and unexpected, as wholeness, as abundance, as harmony, as connection, as breakthroughs in any area of life where breakthrough is being called. And for themselves and for their family members and friends, I just know this truth is happening right here, right now, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for this powerful expression of spirit in each and every single person's life this very day, this very moment. Just knowing all of this is so, I release it now into the action of the spiritual law that always says yes, that makes manifest those thoughts that we hold in mind. I allow it to be, letting it be. We confirm it all by simply saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
So I'm going to give everybody a chance to say yes right now. The law of giving and receiving shows us that when we give, we receive even more. So if something has touched you today, there are many ways you can share the love with us, and we are so grateful for your offering of any amount. I'd like to ask our ushers to come forward. Thank you to Sue and JW for volunteering today. In addition to these baskets being passed, we have a few other ways we can accept your gift to the center. To use a credit card, we have a QR code posted in various places around here. And if you're watching online, there's a link on your screen. And of course, you could always just go to our website, and all of the ways are listed. And so I invite you to say our affirmation of gratitude with me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you for your loving gifts.
We call them cool, those hearts that have no scars to show, the ones that never do let go and risk the tables being turned. We call them fools who have to dance within the flame, who chance the sorrow and the shame that always comes with getting burned. But you've got to be tough when consumed by desire, 'cause it's not enough just to stand outside the fire. We call them strong, those who can face this world alone, who seem to get by on their own, those who will never take the fall. We call them weak, who are unable to resist the slightest chance love might exist, and for that forsake it all. They're so hell-bent on giving, walking a wire, convinced it's not living till you stand outside the fire. Standing outside the fire, standing outside the fire. Life is not tried, it is merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. There's this love that is burning deep in my soul, constantly yearning to get out of control, wanting to fly higher and higher. I can't abide standing outside the fire. Standing outside the fire, standing outside the fire. Life is not tried, it is merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. Standing outside the fire, standing outside the fire. Life is not tried, it is merely survived if you're standing outside the fire.
Oh, Nielsen.
Oh my goodness gracious, that was great. Thank you. Wonderful. I love a drum solo. And thank you again, Paul and Lisa. Thanks for being here today. Beautiful music. Thanks, Lisa, for all the work that you're doing. I just wanted to point out a couple things. The practice is happening right after service today with Dale. If you haven't been to the practice, it's a great opportunity to just do our spiritual work together, and he hosts it and does a beautiful job. It's right after service today. And then also I just wanted to point out that on Saturday at the end of the month, we're starting a healing circle that I'm calling the Ho'oponopono Healing Circle. So it's not a class, it's just a gathering. Come if you want, and it's just to do some practice, some prayer, we'll do the Ho'oponopono chant, we'll do other kinds of chants and rituals, just to call in healing energy. And I think we'll have a great experience with that. And if you don't know, New Thought was founded, the founders of New Thought were all inspired to create these paths because they themselves had healing. So we know that this is possible in our teaching. I've already thanked our artists. Thank you so much. If you want to know what's happening, we've got the program. Please grab one and you can see some of the things that are happening. And for a complete list of everything, there's a lot going on here. Check out the website and particularly the calendar on the website. Everything's listed there. I want to welcome any visitors that we have. If you don't feel shy, you want to raise your hand and say, hey, we're here for the first time. Hey, thank you. Thanks for being here. If you check in with one of our ushers or greeters, they'll give you a welcome pack and tells you a little bit more about our center. And I hope that you find something you like here and make this your spiritual home. If you're watching online, hey, online friends, please give us a like and a thumbs up and share the YouTube video with others in your life. And again, please don't leave with anything heavy on your heart. If you need prayer, you need support from one of our beautiful practitioners, please seek them out. They'll be happy to hold space with you and do a prayer for you in whatever is going on in your life. So let's say our closing affirmation. The power from within expresses through me. Today I am whole, healed, and restored. Today I joyfully receive my abundance. Today the truth has set me free, and so it is. Thank you, everybody.
All right, would you all stand up and sing our closing song? I think you probably know this one. 1, 3, 4.
Think of your fellow man, into the helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Put a
Oh, what a fun day. Thanks, Paul. That was fantastic, Rita.
This program is a service of the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, cslnashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.